it to another Monday. Welcome to the Janelle Villiers podcast. My name is Janelle Villiers, that's me. And I truly believe that everybody's story is important. It is worthy to be shared because we can all learn from each other, from what we've gone through, our challenges, how we've overcome those challenges, the hurdles, all of that. And I'm really excited because I've been able to bring some guests to you guys so you guys can learn from each other. And as you know, many of you know that I believe a book can change a person's life. I truly believe that because it's happened to me. And so sometimes we don't always get the story in a book form. Sometimes we get it in a form like this, on a YouTube channel, on Facebook, if you're Facebook Live. Hey, if you're on Instagram, hi. So I'm really excited. We're going to be bringing more guests to you, so keep tuning in. But today I'm really excited because today we're covering a topic that I think is super important and probably doesn't get enough discussion around. And that is from being a great father from learning from a great father to being a great father. What are some things that we can learn and understand so that way we can teach our sons and then they can be great fathers? I'm really excited to get into this topic. I don't think enough people are talking about it. And of course, it's not going to be me. Who's sharing that, right? I definitely believe we need to hear from some fathers. And I couldn't think of a better person to cover today's topic other than the gentleman that we're going to be bringing on today. I have been following his social media and I've been so inspired by what he's been able to teach others, how he's been able to share about his own journey and what he's been learning and what works, what doesn't work, what he's learned from his own father. I think you guys are in for a really great treat because I don't think there's anybody better who could talk on today's topic other than, wait for it, Samuel Jimenez.
Yeah.
There he is.
Hello. Love that video.
Yes. All the pictures. Hi, Mom. If you're out there, thank you for sending the pictures. It was really great getting
We needed them.
Hey, Bill. I see Bill's on Facebook. Hey, if you are watching live, go ahead and put a live in the comments. We love to say hello to all the folks watching live. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and put an R in the comments. We will definitely answer any of your questions. But as we talk, keep the conversation going. We want to hear what you have to say, hear your thoughts in the comments as well. But Samuel, we are so excited to have you here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being willing to share your thoughts, your wisdom, and your experiences.
Super great to be here. Really, really honored that you asked me to even share this part. You know, there's a big part of my life I feel like that gets the shine, and then there's some parts that maybe don't get seen very well. So it's great to be able to communicate that and hopefully have some listening ears.
Absolutely. All right. Well, for those who are meeting you for the very first time, who don't know as much as I do about your story and your upbringing, I would love to know if you could share essentially, tell us about your father and what you feel like made him a great father in your eyes.
Definitely. So quick things about me. My name is Samuel Jimenez. I was born in Lubbock, Texas. Spent some time in New Mexico, but more or less a lot of time in the good old hub city. So with just again, not to go into a long story, I would say what I feel most qualified to speak on, you know, great father to a great father is just simply the fact that I did have a great father. I had a father who, for one, always, you know, did what he said. And one of those things I think was so repetitive in my life was specifically that I'm never giving up on you. No matter what took place or what I did, because listen, I did a lot. But it was clear after each time, like, hey, buddy, we will have to regroup. We will have to kind of understand what took place and the mistakes made. But no one's leaving, no one's giving up, no one's, you know, forfeiting that right to be all in with you. And I think that was probably one of the biggest, I wouldn't say lessons, but just the example that he set, right? That was kind of what he did. And yeah, through life, again, long story short, my mom died when I was 4. So him having me as the youngest, my 2 older sisters, raising us by himself for the better part of a decade, maybe. Um, and again, never gave up, never gave up. So there's so much there, and I'd love to unpack it with you. So yeah, I would say that's what makes me me in a lot of ways, is the fact that I was able to really lean on what my father was saying and trust that.
I love that. And thank you for
Yeah,
sharing that. I think
yeah,
that's really helpful for people to understand your relationship with him. And that he was a single dad too. I think
right,
that's really important for folks to know.
right.
I'm curious, what was his approach to maybe discipline or like guidance or even showing love? What was his approach?
I mean, there was never a moment that he wasn't showing what he was working on, right? So I mean, if we were learning discipline, it was because, hey, this is how dad works with discipline. I will say a lot of that was given the times, right? We know a lot about parenting and how to adjust for discipline and all that. But I would say that ultimately the discipline came from a very love-centered place. It
Mhm,
was because the discipline that he was imparting was simply the ones he was living by.
mhm,
My dad is a believer in Jesus Christ, so he's a big, big part of my life as well in terms of my faith and understanding that role of discipline, because there's just so many ways that you you're not really aware of the peripherals, the things my dad would say. You got to major in the minors, you know what I mean? You've got to know these little things because it's going to be probably something you need to keep your eye on later. And man, that was always true, it was always true.
So I'm curious then, what are the top three lessons your father taught you about being a man?
Oh man. So yeah, I mean, it's so funny because we talked earlier today, and I think the hey, if you're out there, um, it's about the ability to, like I said, not only say what you mean, but be honest about what you're saying. That to me was probably the number one lesson. He
Mhm,
he he wasn't telling me things that he wasn't doing. He wasn't, I think some of the greatest coaches always say, I'm not telling you anything I haven't done.
mhm,
These are the things that I did,
mhm,
not just and he was completely honest, even if it was like, hey, this is what I did and this is how it was wrong, or this is, the lesson I had to learn inside of that.
mhm,
Um, that was probably, I would say, number one, the ability to remain honest with what you're saying and be true to that.
mhm,
Man, top two, uh, to win. I don't to want to win. I know that there is a lot of aspects of competition that may gets overshadowed by the um, winning by any means necessary mentality,
mhm,
and that can come with some negative connotations. But I'll tell you, it's hard to beat somebody if they don't quit.
mhm,
And that was something my dad always let me know, like, hey, you don't got to be the fastest, you don't got to be the strongest, you certainly don't have to be the smartest, but if you don't quit, if you continue to say, "Hey, I did, I did, I did fail here, but there's a lesson to be learned here." So
mhm,
not only are you just failing, but you're also learning
mhm,
from those mistakes. And that was something that I think was right up there, with the I would
mhm,
say right up there with number one, but pretty dang close.
mhm,
And number three, to being a great man, especially as it comes to a father,
mhm,
man, you've got to be a great husband. I don't know why we have this ability to miss that part.
mhm,
But it is the first relationships your children see.
mhm,
And for I don't have any daughters. I have 2 boys.
mhm,
So it's even more of a reason for me to not only focus on um, supporting and loving my wife, but doing it on stage. I mean, doing it in a way that my boys see, because I can talk about sacrifices and what it needs to make money and all these things. But if you're not loving your spouse the way that they deserve to be loved, you really are setting your sons up for half of success. Does that make sense? Because
Hmm.
again, you can think how you want, but if you can love a woman the way that she loves you, I think the relationship, your life itself will grow. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's I would say those top three lessons are probably what has really given me the most semblance of success in all aspects of my life, whether it's career or what have you. Those things really come into play there.
Those are very powerful. Even as someone who's not a father,
Yeah,
um, I I think all of those are really powerful and
yeah.
potentially things that are don't really get often taught or said. Um,
Well, because I feel like too, they encompass so much.
mm,
I I don't want to sit here and say that these things are easy,
mm,
right?
no,
They're not.
no.
They're very hard. They call you to do things that you wouldn't want to do, but I think that's the quote unquote cross that you're supposed to carry,
Mm,
especially if the goal is to not only be good but be better than what was shown to you.
mm.
Yeah, I mean, how bad do you want it? You know what I mean? So it's
Ah, I love that. Look,
yeah,
if you're watching and this resonates with you, please, please, please let us know in the comments.
yeah,
Let Samuel know that this is
yeah.
good stuff.
Excuse me.
Okay, so transitioning then from what you learned, right, to
Excuse me.
where you are today, how do you think
Yeah.
you're applying some of the lessons that your father taught you to your own kids?
Yeah. I would say one day at a time. I made a comment to my dad the other day. I'm learning on the fly, and my dad was really quick to kind of say, "Yeah, that sounds good, but you aren't just learning on the fly. You have good understandings of these principles
Uh-huh.
um, that I set before you. The job now is to put it into play." you
Mm,
know you can, like I said, you can talk about it, but until you're being about it, I think that's when you really start to understand how well you understand the concept, especially like little things. I mean, I say little things, it's not a little thing, but like forgiveness. You think
mm,
you understand the concept of forgiveness until it's like, no, 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 you've got to forgive either way. That's
mm,
not up. It's not, you know what I mean? You can hold on to it and hold on to that resentment, but if
mm,
you don't kind of cross that line and forgive and do the action of that, you're really going to be stuck. So I would say the best way I'm putting it into practice is really trying to be a man of integrity. When I say this is what am going to
mhm,
do that. I think that has a lot um, that gets talked about a lot,
mhm,
but it's usually by people who are just talking about it. You know
mm,
what I mean? It's
mhm.
because the people who are doing it are the ones that are tired. The people who are, you know what I'm sorry.
Say that, yes.
You feel me? So it's even those for parents that are just like, I think a lot of people have heard this quote, um if you're only tired if you're trying to be a good parent. And
Mm,
I think that falls in a lot of areas. If you're trying daily to set an example for your children to to be a great dad, to be a great husband, to be a great son, whatever, to be a great brother, to be a great encourager, you have to be able to put those things into action.
mhm,
And man, day by day, it is choosing kindness. It's choosing not to pick up an offense, even if it is towards you. it
mm,
is it is it is something that I think it is crucial and tiring and every day. But that's the blessing, right? What's the phrase? You can't complain about how much is on your plate when you wanted to eat.
right.
And I I want a happy family. I want a beautiful, healthy, whole family
Mhm,
where my boys know that the door is never closed.
mhm,
Anything happens, you come through. And I think that's how we're trying to put that into play day by day.
Ah, this is so good. So
Whew,
good. Dropping
thank
so many
you.
nuggets.
Thank you. Wow,
Ah,
man.
so okay, I have some more questions, but again, if
Yep. Yep.
if people are watching and you're watching live and you have questions for Samuel, please go ahead and put them in the comments. We will ask him. I okay, one of my questions is, I mean, you talked about being tired, you talked about some of the challenges. So then what do you feel like some of your personal areas of fatherhood that have been the most challenging for you?
Yeah, man. I mean, I won't even need to think that hard, honestly. So let me say this. So I am coming up on 7 years alcohol free. I That was a struggle for me. Thank you so much. It was something, I mean, I'm there. The state of Texas knows me. It wasn't something that I was just like, I'm gonna walk into sobriety. I think I'm gonna try it. No, 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 no. A lot of hard lessons, a lot of money spent, a lot of lessons. But it was truly one of those moments of, okay, I've got to be sober. I've got to be present, and
Mm,
that led me to understanding the other half of presence. So
mhm,
not just the ability to be there, but
mhm,
the ability to be there and provide a sense of peace, or at the very least, build on what's already there, to not take away. Because sometimes if you talk to my boy, he'll tell you, yeah, dad's mad. Dad's mad right now. And you're just like, you hate to hear it, but it's like, hey, are we open and honest? Are we able to check that emotion? Are we able to say, you know what, buddy, I am a little frustrated. I'm so sorry. It's not at you though,
mm, mm, mm,
and move forward, because the more I think you do that, like, kind of goes back to that honesty piece and that
mhm,
integrity piece, the more you're saying about what's happening on the inside. Because I think you know this too. Men have this idea that I can't talk about it. I
mm,
can't talk, whether it's my emotions, whether it's my, you know, thoughts or ideas. It's like, no, I've got to figure this out. I've got to
mhm.
figure this out. And to some extent, yeah, man, you do got to figure it out, but you're not alone in that
In that.
process.
Mm, mm,
Um, because there are so many people, so many men that I talk to that they're just like, hey, yeah, oh, you feel that too?
mm,
You feel that way when you wake up? You think? And I'm just like, yeah, bro, give me a hug. We are, you know what I mean? Because it is such a, um, I don't even want to say like well, yeah, I mean, it is a negative connotation in a lot of ways for men to reach out for help, to
mm,
reach out and say, I'm not feeling this. I'm not understanding at the very least of where this idea of success is in my life. Because I'll tell you, I never I never thought about being a dad. Never in my life that I wake up and think, can't wait till I have kids. Can't
mm,
wait till I am able to impart lessons. And no, I was scared out of my britches, because I thought, I know what this is going to mean. I know what this is going to, because like I said before, I saw my dad do it.
mm,
So when I do have some bad days, again, I know this is not everybody's story, but it's something that I feel like is true to me. When I do feel like, oh, I'm tired. Hey, shout out my pops. I am, yeah. I am the person who is trying his best to build upon what I have, and all of that while being honest and sincere about what I'm bringing to the table.
mhm.
Because again, the more we stuff it inside, the more we try to say, "I'll figure it out. Don't worry." Hey,
I know it's
that's
a
my
bigger
sister. Hey, so, but it is, man. That's the mission. That's the goal. And got sidetracked by all the love. But yes, no, it truly is that part of putting uh putting your money where your mouth is. Are you gonna do it? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm. So I'm curious, what about those who didn't have a father? How can men
Yeah.
who
Yeah,
didn't have a, well, let's say this, who didn't have a great father
for
figure,
sure.
how can they still become great dads?
Man, so I've got a perfect example for this. My best friend, his name is Samuel Petty. Same name, grew up together, same town, everything. He has four girls. He did not have a great father.
Mm,
His dad left his family, and he ended up growing up with a stepfather, and there's a lot of things there. But I'll tell you, he he had already made the decision that he was not going to do what was done to him. And nobody, I couldn't have told you, Sam, that's going to shape how you are as a parent. Nobody could have told him that.
mm,
Honestly, we at the time we thought we were rebels. We
mhm,
thought we were the ones going against the grain, and nobody would want to do what we do. And then we had kids, and then all of that talk about being different, all of that talk about wanting, it came to part. And I'll say this, it is not without the imperfections, obviously, but I don't know. I'll tell you, there are great men out there without great fathers, and they are the people that I think are doing the most work in this realm because they're the people who aren't just talking about it. They figured this out. And again, that could seem like, pull up your bootstraps and get it done, buddy. It's not that. It's just that. Think about the life that you had. If you didn't have a great dad, if you didn't have a great father figure, you've got to find where you want to aim
mm,
and then sell out to that dream.
mm,
Don't take no for an answer. I mean, all in, right? It it's never ever gonna work unless you decide that there isn't another options. Oh my gosh, what is it? Burn the boats. I'm
mm,
not going back, my friend. I'm not. I can't. I've been there. I've been in jail cells. I've been in there. I don't want to do that. And
mm.
I'm gonna do better. And man, I don't know. You're not gonna stop me because I'm not gonna quit. Oh man.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Thank you.
Um, okay, so another two questions. I don't see any other
Yes,
questions
sir.
in the comments, so I'm going to keep going.
Of
Um,
course.
what would you say to fathers who feel like they're failing?
That hits close to home. It hits close to home for me too, because like I've said this whole show, I've got a great dad.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I can allow that example to become a shadow. And it feels like I'm in a shadow. And my dad had five kids.
Mm-hmm.
Financially, he provided for five kids. I have two kids. And I'm like, wait a second. We got to get more groceries? Like,
Right.
like I'm not the one eating them, but
Mm-hmm.
still, it's surprising. I would just say it is something like I said earlier to the point of when you're trying your best, it could feel like you're just treading water deep in the mud, just barely moving. But I promise you, it's leaps and bounds faster and further than the guy who's already said, I got what I want. I
Mm-hmm.
made it. Now I'm good here. Because there's, compound interest. You're not gonna beat it. Because yesterday I may have not have done 100%, but I did what I could. And today I'm gonna do the same thing. For the father who feels like they're failing, I would just suggest, are you being honest with yourself or are you dealing with shame?
Mm-hmm.
Because there are some shame factors. Am I enough? Can I do this? I don't know how many times my dad has heard that from my mouth. But I also know that it doesn't come without the response of, yeah, you're going to do it. You can. You can do it. This is how you can do it. And you got to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And again, there's a scripture that I live by. Seek first the kingdom of God, and all else will be added unto you. It's a promise. Hey, if you seek the highest good, if
Mm-hmm.
you go for the thing that you think will turn your light on inside,
Mm-hmm.
then do it. And if you don't, then there's nobody else to blame except you. And that's a tough accountability pill to swallow, but that is the truth of a father who feels like he's failing. Is that shame, or are we needing to readjust? Are we needing to find another place? Okay, I'll tell you right now, I'm working on my emotional responses. If I'm mad, it doesn't. Ooh,
Yeah, it was my
excuse
turn.
me. It
Go ahead,
doesn't. It,
finish.
yes. I'm sorry. It just doesn't mean that we get to be rude um, without recourse to our kids. But essentially, yeah. If you feel like you're there, be honest and take accountability for that.
Mm, I love that because if you, one of my mentors has said like you got to name it to tame it.
Come on, come on.
So
That's so true, man.
if you're accountable, then there's something that you can do about it, right? But if
Right,
you're not accountable, then it just kind of
right.
keeps
Then
lingering.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Then
so I have okay. Uh, okay, last question. Last question.
okay.
What's the best part about being a dad?
For me easily just the joy of hanging out with him. I talk to myself. I'm in my head a lot, and as a kid, I always had conversations. And when I met my son, when he came out 6 years ago, I remember thinking specifically, this is who I was talking to.
Mm,
I was talking to my guy. I was talking to my friend, my son. Now, again, friends, and we can go on to that topic, whatever, whatever. But the best part about me being able to be a father is the sons. I get
mm.
to be with them. They're the coolest. I think my kids are the best kids.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
easily.
amazing. All right. Well, look, I'm sure there are so many people on who or watching the recording who are super inspired by you, Samuel, and your mission. How can men who want to improve as fathers connect with you and your message?
Beautiful. Yes. Find me on Instagram. I'm Instagram and Facebook, Sam's Two Cents. You can just search Samuel Jimenez. And reach out, give me a DM, get a hold of me, ask the questions, be honest, because I'll tell you, I will 100% be honest and I will 100% be on your team. But yeah, oh, also, yeah, any questions about budgeting, finances, anything like that, give me a call as well.
One last
Oh,
question from the audience. What books or resources would you recommend for young fathers or parenting in general? Really great question, Christian.
yes, shout out Magby. That's my sister. Um, so young fathers, I would say, best book. Man, I'm going to my phone right now. My library, my favorite book, Desiring God was one of them by John Piper.
Mm,
Solid one, especially for anybody who feels like they don't even have a direction in general. Funny one, Failure is an Option by H. John Benjamin. Just being honest about where you can fail and the world not be over. And then if you're super unsure about where life is, always fall on the Bible. The Bible is the book for me. Hey man, it is found me in places where I had no business being. So
mm.
if that's somewhere where you may be, please give me a call. We'll talk it out.
Oh. Well, look, guys, continue to show the love for Samuel. Follow him on Instagram. He's a real person. He just told you he will respond.
True.
There he is on Instagram. You can also find his information in the description below. Thank you so much, Samuel, for
Thank
coming
you.
on, for
Thank you.
sharing your wisdom. Shout out to your dad.
True family.
This has been a great conversation. Would
Thank
love to
you. Of
have you back on for more.
course. Of
And
course.
I'm looking forward to when you're going to write your first book.
Yeah. Come on. Oh man, I know they want it.
For those of you that know me and know how important it is to share your story in book form, I am offering a free 2-day masterclass coming up April 11th and 12th. So make sure you check the description for that so that you can register for that. Would love to see any and all of you there. But until then, thank you so much for joining the Janelle
Yes.
Villiers podcast. I look forward to seeing many of you next week. Take care, everyone.
See ya.